Hi Val, I've opened up a session and I'm actually just going to go through and complete the file systems and navigation section because I believe this is where you're having some issues. So I don't really know exactly what you're doing, but you can just maybe watch along and see if you see some differences. So I'm going to go ahead. The first thing they want us to do is open up a different Linux server. So go ahead, do that. I'm going to sign in. So all right, so I'm signed in, and they just talk a little bit about what a file system is and displaying different information within the file system. So I'll go ahead and we'll execute this command, the df, right? First they show us that it's represented in kilobytes, and then if we want to see this in gigabytes, we will type in this df-h, all right, so we can see that. Explains a little bit about the hierarchy and how we use the /, some standard Linux directories, mentioning being familiar with the structure, showing us how we can change our directory if we want to the top, and then verifying that we are by looking at the pwd command. All right, so if we can look at here, we can see that we are at the root because I see the little tilde. So let's go and see what's present here. So we'll do it. List of our files, and so we'll go ahead and LSA space /. All right, so we can see all of the files. This gives us a list of the contents, and we can see that we are obviously in the bin directory here. All right, go on and explain a little bit about the absolute path versus the relative path, giving you a tip there. So scroll on down. Let me go ahead and clear so you can see. Oh, can't spell right. All right, now we're going to go ahead and make a directory. So go ahead and just do mk dir. We're going to make this using the absolute path, k and testing. All right, and I want to check that. Well, there's my root that I'm at. If I want to check my directory, I can see that's the testing that I just created. I can verify that. It's always good to verify them when you can, right? So let's go ahead and change the directory to the testing. All right, and then we're going to go ahead and create a file to put in the testing folder. Nano, open up the editor, and we're going to call this my file, and Charlie, can't spell, Charlie, Alpha, Bravo, and Delta. All right, we'll do a Control X to exit, yes to enter, enter again, and again I'm going to go ahead and clear so we can get to the top here, and now we are going to go and take a look at the file. Oops, spell directory cat my file. All right, Charlie Alpha Bravo Delta. Let's go ahead and sort this. All right, and notice I am in the testing. I'm in the testing subdirectory, and I'm wondering if that is your problem if you are out in the root. All right, so we'll do a cat my file. I'm going to go ahead and pipe this to sort, and again we can see this view, and now we're going to actually redirect this to a log file that we're going to create, and we're going to call this one sorted.log. All right, And again, if I do a directory, we can see that that file that I just created is, that log file is right there. Now if we scroll on down, we are going to find some files, all right? So they tell us exactly the command to type in, and so we're going to do a sudo find variable log dash type. We only want files, and we want this to be within less than 20 minutes. All right, because I am not a super user, right, so I need to go in and I need to put in the password, which I know. I stumbled on my keyboard. I hope it went through. Yes, it did. Great. All right, so I can see the contents in here. Right, sudo lets us temporarily run commands at the root or the super user, right? And then they go ahead and they explain each piece of that, which is very important for us to read. However, I'm just reviewing this, don't want to make this really long, and so I'm just going to be typing in the commands. So the next one we're going to be typing in is we're going to look at the tail end of some of what's happening for these screens, because we're suspecting something. So tail -f. And so we want to look at this particular file. We want to see what's happening in here. All right, so we're going to watch our screen, and we're going to see in about a minute or so that the contents, it's going to show us that someone is trying to get in. Right here we can see that, and they point out to us that they are, the user is anonymous, right, and they're trying to get into the Etsy folder, subfolder shadow, and that's where we have the passwords are stored, so that's not a great thing. Anonymous, that's the name of a hacking group, right, so they recognize that. All right, so we want to exit out of here. We'll do a Control-C to get out. I'm going to go ahead and clear my screen, and then you are introduced to the challenge. So the first thing they tell us to do is that we're going to find with the wildcard. So we take a look at where we are at, right? I'm in the testing subdirectory, so I want to go ahead and I want to change, I want to go back to my root, all right? And then I also want to, I like to go to my home, right? So I want to be right there on the root, so I'm going to go ahead and do that. And we're going to start with, so let's restart this section here. So let me go ahead and I'm just going to pull up some of my previous commands here. I'm going to pull up just so we can find our sudo find, so we can see these two files. Great. All right, so because we need permission to do this, right, we need to be in here as sudo. So let's go ahead and do sudo remove and then the name of the file. usr/bin/ddos1.sh. All right, and that is gone, right? Because if I ran my sudo to find, I'm now only going to find one of those, right? And so let me pull up my sudo remove, and I'm just going to backspace this out, and then type in /opt/ddos2.sh. Right, and it should automatically move on to the next section, and there it goes. Okay, I hope this was helpful. I think maybe, I'm not sure what command you were typing in, and that's something that I cannot see without you being in front of me. So hopefully this is helpful, okay?